Down the back straightaway, Blake Hahn and Christopher Bell lead them into corner number 3. And out of corner number 4, green flag at the Tulsa Shootout.
Side by side, 2 by 2, the front several rows, but here comes Blake Hahn leading the charge into 3 and 4, but what a move for Aiden Purdue to get to P2. Shot in the shorts to Blake Hahn, but it's Hahn on lap 1.
Hahn driving through the bottom of 2. Is it the flu game for him, where he drives his best under bad conditions? Purdue second, Bell third, Boyles 4, RTJ sitting in the 5th spot early.
Purdue had a nose underneath of Axum. We are 3 wide already here further back. 1 roll on the top side. That's the 44X of Jeffrey Pahuli. You want the guys in the back to help you out, widen this thing out. Pahuli doing just that.
He is not messing around either, Chris Moore. He is ripping the top, and meanwhile, there goes Kyle Larson to the top, bouncing his way through the holes at 3 and 4. Young Money trying to challenge Pahuli for the spot.
I think there's a lot of speed up there, guys. It's just, is it going to smooth out? And is there more speed up there than there is on the bottom at the moment? Bottom kind of plugging up. Larson starting to wind momentum, but dives back to the low side in 1 and 2 to try to make the pass. Denied coming out of the second corner.
Larson and Pahuli back there doing it for the top row. Tweeners off of turn number 2. Getting after it up there on the top side. Hahn continuing to set the pace. Purdue keeping up with him. Bell, Boyles, and RTJ, your top 5, unchanged right now as we continue to watch these guys on the top and the back, see if they can start to really make hay, and who will be the first one up front to make the jump.
Guys, when Blake Hahn's been really good here at the shootout is when he has done just that. Got out in front and controlled the pacing, controlled traffic within the race. He is doing that right now as you look at the battle for 3rd and 4th. Christopher Bell and Clinton Boyles still very early in this. We're only 8 laps in.
Keeping an eye on Kyle Larson, was able to get by 2 cars on the bottom, then went to the top in 3 and 4, has already caught the back end of Kaylee Bryson. So Larson, 14th, looking for 9th at this point. Still 46 laps to go as we get through the early stages. But again, most of everybody on the bottom, it looks like you can make a run on the top for 1 pass and then have to dive back in.
Got one up and on the top a little bit further back in the field, right in front of Emerson Axum. That is Graham in the 66. Gone up, tried the high side. Brody Graham willing to risk it up the top of the racetrack and found good shot off the top of turn number 2. Question is, can you make it translate into passes? Now Aiden Purdue going up top in 1 and 2.
Yeah, first time I've seen Aiden really commit to the top in 1 and 2. We'll dive back to the bottom in 3 and 4. But again, the top 3 breakaway just a little bit before you get back to Clinton Boyles and Ricky Thornton Jr. We got our first yellow of tonight's 55 lapper, and it's courtesy of Sheldon Creed, who started deep in this one, and looks like he's able to continue.
Definitely looks a little bit better in 1 and 2 right now than it is in 3 and 4. Or maybe the bottom's better in 3 and 4 still, but there is some room.
Could make for an interesting high groove coming into the first and second corner before 3 and 4. We'll see how it all plays out. Christopher Bell jumping up top. He's got a nice run on Purdue coming down the back straightaway. In fact, Bell will jump to the high side in 3 and 4 as well and see if he can make a move for position 2.
Cautions out on the speedway. One around here in turn 3 and 4. GT Gary Taylor coming to a stop, but just 1 and 2, the top looks so much better right now than 3 and 4.
Right, the guys behind me are going. Let's not be the last one to get up there as get a look at the iBox Springs replay, and GT just overcorrects a little bit and around at the turn.
It's just a matter of time when that first wave of change comes and people start to move up the hill, but the green flag is back in the air. And speaking of moving up the hill, Aiden Purdue says, "Top's up here, bud," as he rockets off at turn number 2. Can have a shot here in 3 and 4, trying to challenge for the lead.
Can he get up and around Blake Hahn? He cannot. Hahn down to the top. There goes Bell to the bottom, looking for room underneath Purdue and possibly underneath Hahn. Hahn stays low in 3 and 4. Purdue up top, flies the front end. Christopher Bell seriously challenging for second place here as the race gets mature.
It's just so rough in 3 and 4. Aiden Purdue's just staying committed right now, trying to run it in, but Bell strong on the bottom in 3 and 4 this time. Off the corner, he'll take position number 2 away and sets his sights after Blake Hahn.
Hahn still cushion riding down the back straightaway to the low side, and Christopher Bell is dialing in on him coming off the corner. So Bell picking up the pace, picking up the speed at lap 1:38 to go.
Looking back at Kyle Larson here, just a little bit still tracked behind Jake Nail now as he moved up to the 8th spot, dispatched of Kaylee Bryson and Brody Graham. And Larson making it happen on the bottom, but the yellow flag is out.
Is that Brody? No.
It's like the 15. That's Neil Allison, I believe.
Yeah.
Take a look at what happened to the driver out of North Carolina. Ooh, contact. Thought about going top shelf, and that lane was occupied. And was about getting 14th before the yellow. Keep an eye on the back of the field as Blake Hahn, Christopher Bell, Aiden Purdue, and Clinton Boyles lead the field back to the green flag.
Bell going to try the high side on the restart. That's big momentum. Closing on Blake Hahn in through 3 and 4, but it's not going to stick as problems and the yellow lights flash. On a state ripping caution flag. Debris on the racetrack.
Ooh. Can't tell from this
I think
angle.
it's a wheel cover.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's bent up just a little bit, a right rear wheel cover.
And a surprising amount of wheel covers coming off, despite
right?
the fact that we changed how we fasten wheel covers back a few years. So
We had a lot last year, too, if I remember right. We had some...
Either 21X or Cash Lovenberg. Yeah, we're getting word it's from a 21 machine. So obviously, if you check out the right rear and it's gone,
it's going to be bad for Lovenberg, a noted rim rider here. If he gets up, packs that wheel full, it's going to be a tough ride for him the rest of the way.
Steven Snyder's also a 21.
Not 21's in the field.
back under the green flag, lap 18.
That's a way better start for Blake Hahn. He got some space between himself and Bell. Bell still going to soak up some of that room as he's going to go up to the high side and try to race himself a lane. He manages to stay ahead of Purdue. Now Hahn to the top of 1 and 2. Bell down low to show him a wheel. Can't get by him in that turn.
And he's going to follow Hahn this time on the bottom. Meanwhile, Emerson Axsom's going to now be the first one up in turns 3 and 4, trying to make something happen. Caution flag in the air, one upside down on the back straightaway, and it's Brandon Rose, rather. Got some air down the back straightaway, and the Indiana native.
Brody Graham fell off the pace down the backstretch off of turn number 2, was keeping it glued to the fence, and it kind of created a little bit of a log jam, and Brandon Rose absolutely nowhere to go, guys.
Brody Graham already in the work area, so was able to make it there as the caution flag fell.
He kind of coasted right in there, Chris.
Yeah, they've got Brandon in the side-by-side here. That was a vicious lick there, turned over a few times. Took your time climbing out of the race car. It looks like you're a little tender. What can you tell me?
Yeah, I need a Coors Light. That last hit was pretty tough. I don't know who slowed up, but somebody slowed up, and then Creed came down, and I hopped it and just kept going, and yeah, that one hurt.
All right, guys, we're going to let him go crack a cold one and enjoy the rest of this from up at the pit area.
Blake Hahn still leads. Christopher Bell was working different lines to try to get by him, but we've only been able to get in like a lap at a time for the last few. Mired with cautions, back to green we are.
Bell to the top side in 1 and 2. Opens the door for Aiden Purdue on the inside. Clinton Boyle still holding tough, but he's about to battle his teammate Emerson Axsom. Going around the outside, but Bell up in front. Here's Axsom trying to make something happen in the 10J.
Multiple drivers up cleaning off the high groove right now. Axsom flying,
in a parking lot in turn 1.
Another stoppage in this race.
Yeah.
KJ Snow involved. Looks like the 8S, is that Ruschenberg?
Yes, that'd be him.
And a couple others are
Sheldon
Lovenberg.
Creed.
Lovenberg.
Yeah, and Dylan Cadis, Cash Lovenberg, KJ Snow, and Corbin Ruschenberg before. Still over there. Somebody else did drive away.
Yeah, I think that was Sheldon Creed.
Okay.
That drove away. Let's check out the iBox Springs instant replay coming at your living room. Up, 1, 2, 3.
You know, it's curbed up there in the top at the entrance of turn number 1. So if you don't hit it right, and Dean Mills has got a good shot on it from the camera up from the up top perch that he's using, but it's to the point where if you just get your right rear tire a little too far up and over it, it is going to take you and turn you like it did there, and chain reaction, the whole thing. Yeah, take a look at all that material.
I bet you if I stood down there being 5'5", I mean, I'd be past my knee. I mean, that is tall.
You said it, Chris.
Well, I'm giving the fans a perspective. So as a shorter person, that's going to be almost to my thigh.
It's about as high as the wheel on the side-by-side
Sheldon
there.
out of the car.
Blake's working hard tonight. Went from the work area. Now you got Sheldon Creed over there in turn one.
Sheldon, you had a good view of what happened. What happened to your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, the caution before that guy, I think, blew up in front of me, and I didn't want to lane change in case someone was there, and got kind of checked up, and then this one, they just piled in, and I had already committed myself to the top, so lost the radiator there, a little bum, but yeah, just proud of making mains this week. Just want to thank Darren Brandt, B&B Chassis, Alexander Ford, Pizza World, Sandy Laser Cutting, everyone that helps me. Fun week. I'm ready to be home and see my wife and kids.
All right, tough way to end Sheldon Creed's week. Okay, we'll head back to the pit area.
For these final 34 laps, we've kind of bogged down here at the 1/3 mark. But we're going to go back to it. It is Blake Hahn and Christopher Bell bringing us back to green. Hahn's going to go back to the bottom. Bell will attack the top just as he's been. Here comes Boyles trying to work underneath there. Aiden Purdue. We haven't seen much movement in the top 4 to this point. Boyles trying to take third away, and Emerson Axum's trying to join the party here, guys.
Yeah, Boyle's looking racy here on the bottom as he battles Aiden Purdue, and Emerson Axum's just trying to find a lane around both of them. He's going to go to the top. We may have a battle here. 3 wide off of turn number 4, although Emerson top to bottom, 2 for 1. He's going to hop over the berm. Emerson Axum contact with Aiden Purdue.
They both drive away from it somehow. Boyle's the beneficiary, working his way up and into third. Contact with somebody coming up on the inside of
That's
him.
RTJ. Ricky Thornton Jr. over the
In
berm.
stereo.
Wow.
Down the back straightaway they go. It's Purdue who's rebounded.
Yeah.
Boyle's now shooting back up to the high side. Axum's there with him, and Kyle Larson starting to get involved. Guys, we're coming in on halfway here in the 55 lapper.
I think Christopher Bell's just been looking for green flag laps. He's keeping right pace with Blake Hahn right now, just looking for an opportunity. Third on back, though, is a complete log jam. That's why we're double boxed. It's great for third. Bell stalking your leader.
Meanwhile, you're looking at Kyle Larson trying to work on Aiden Purdue. Larson from 14th looking to 6th as up front there ahead of this battle. There's RTJ and Clinton Boyles. They were teammates here this week, now vying for position number 3 here at the Tulsa Shootout.
At the halfway point of this race, Blake Hahn continues to lead. Christopher Bell has been bird dogging him around the bottom of the racetrack now for a solid 5 to 6 laps. Boyles, Thornton Jr., and Axum, the teammates, 3, 4, and 5 in an impressive showing.
And they're 3 wide in turn 3 and 4 again as you watch the battle for the lead. Bell inching ever so close to the back end of Blake Hahn. Hahn still committing to the outside in 1 and 2, bottom in 3 and 4.
Bell has been really impressive in chasing him down, but Blake Hahn hasn't flinched yet, nor is he going to. You're not going to throw anything at Hahn that he hasn't seen here yet at the shootout.
We're past halfway, coming to complete lap number 31, but you guys said it. Blake Hahn has not missed a mark on the top side of 1 and 2, and he better not. Any kind of problem he has on the top side of 1 and 2, Bell's going to be right there, dead even with him. Hahn's closing the door on Bell down here on the bottom of 3 and 4. Neither one of them wants to go to the top. Clinton Boyles does, and now Hahn changes lanes. Bell will go to the top in 1 and 2.
This is a good battle for the race lead as Christopher Bell now says, okay, let's switch lanes here. I'll go top in 3 and 4, but it's still Blake Hahn. This time they'll rotate positions. Bell to the bottom, Hahn up top, and it is an absolute dogfight here at the front of the field.
Christopher Bell just looking for the path. It looks like he rolls the bottom of 3 and 4 just a hair better, but Hahn's been better in 1 or 2, no matter which groove it's been in, and we got one on its side that will bring this race to a caution once again.
Maybe the Landon Henry machine, and you're looking, staring down right into the cockpit pretty much as he sits on the right side.
Yeah, you see him moving around. I believe just gave a thumbs up to the officials so they could flip him back onto all 4s.
This battle, though, from 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th has been torrid.
But Chris, Hahn and Bell were changing lanes and this and that, and I think the top was getting better. You're going to look here, the cushion in turn number 1. All week it's been 3 and 4. So far in this A-Main, turn 1's gotten a couple of guys, but if you noticed, Boyles and Axum had kind of settled into just running the top. I think it's gotten high enough in 1 and 2 that they're kind of around, or excuse me, in 3 and 4, they're getting around those bumps. It's smoother, it's faster, and I think Axum had kind of said, all right, Clinton, you lead the way, I'll follow, let's go get those boys, and they were closing in, and this yellow is going to change everything, because I think Hahn's guys might be saying top, 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 and Seabell's been rolling the bottom. This is awesome.
And guys, I got Landon Henry. Landon, first off, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Knocked the wind out of me there for a second, but sucks for my guys. I'd like to thank Joey and Kevin. They gave me a good car, just made a mistake and cost us, but I'd like to thank Coy, Brian, and Joe Bob, and Victory Fuel, Swindell Speed Lab, Porterville Financial, Arthur Tax Service, and everyone else helps me the track.
This kid, one of the young rising stars in sprint car racing, has certainly planted himself on the national scene, driving for Joey and Ashley Starnes out of Texas, and a bright future for Landon Henry, guys.
As the lights are out.
Blake Hahn trying to keep Christopher Bell at bay and the rest of the field back under the green flag with 21 to go.
Clinton Boyle's going to slide Christopher Bell for second. Allows Axum to get underneath him for just a second as they'll rotate around the top. Now Bell up to the top side of 3 and 4. Coming after Hahn, who's down on the bottom. Here's Axum looking for room. Larson getting involved. It's a mess for 4th.
Meanwhile, Christopher Bell says, my turn to lead the 55-lapper across the outside of Blake Hahn. You've got a new leader in Christopher Bell.
Topside getting good, and Bell found it now around Hahn, but Emerson Axum got in the 3rd and now to the hammer. Bell running a slider line. Axum going to pound the top. Here he comes, and Steven Snyder Jr.'s into the picture, guys. Snyder trying to crack the top 5. He's 5th. RTJ right ahead of him. Snyder's on the march from 21st.
Absolutely fantastic run for Steven Snyder Jr. around the outside of Ricky Thornton Jr. up to 3rd, and here he comes setting his sights on Emerson Axum.
Snyder Jr. turning around his luck here in the Non-Wing Outlaw A-Main. Up and around the top. That car flying here in the late stages. Closing on Emerson Axum. For second down the back straightaway. Axum drawing a beat on Bell as the top 3 getting tight.
Yeah, the top 2 might be sitting ducks right now. That 21 car is absolutely on rails. And Snyder's crew chief said it, 55 lappers are right at, we're at home. Snyder creeping in on the top 2. Axum closing in on Bell's back bumper. Nobody willing to go to the bottom just yet. Bell will. Here comes Snyder as well. Follow him on the slider line.
Across the nose of Emerson Axum and new second place runner Steven Snyder Jr. Snyder Jr. does not have a driller. He said, I want one this year. He's going after your leader in Christopher Bell.
Railing the high side through 1 and 2. Momentum on the side of Snyder as he comes after Bell in 3 and 4. Christopher Bell trying to hold off Steven Snyder Jr. Snyder Jr. wearing out the rear Nerf bar and into the lead off of the second corner.
Blake Anderson, I'll write you a royalty check. Christopher Bell, you've got company, and you're now chasing after him. Steven Snyder now to the lead. Now going to try and pull away from 21st and a 55-lapper. The Maryland native looking for driller number 1.
Oh, look at that gap that he just opened up. Snyder Jr. is the fastest car on this track, bar none.
Oh, he got the cushion, and Snyder Jr. jumps it. Kept his foot in it. Lost just about a couple of car lengths to Christopher Bell. But here comes Christopher Bell. Slider in turn 3 and 4 as Snyder jumps the cushion. You've got another battle for the lead as here goes Bell again.
Bell's going to slide him in 1 and 2. Exits up high. Snyder trying to find that momentum back. Bell downstairs slams the door shut with Axum coming after him. Bell back
Snyder,
to the lead on
he
lap
broke.
47.
I think he's got a problem. Something. He is off the pace, and it looks like a right rear flat tire potentially for Steven Snyder. Unbelievable.
What a drive from 21st, but it could be all for naught. But Kyle Larson is making his presence felt with 7 laps to go. Young Money up to P3. He wants a 3rd driller tonight.
He's got to chase down Axum first, and Axum is looking for gold himself with Bell right in front of him. Kyle Larson, Emerson Axum, both chasing Christopher Bell here at the late stages.
They're absolutely riding the wall in turns 1 and 2, but here comes Emerson Axum now closing the gap this time in turns 3 and 4 to Christopher Bell. You're coming to 5 laps to go. Oh,
We've seen it already. The cushion will reach out and bite you a bit. Steven Snyder, Bell, we're being a little bit more careful now. Slider line in a 1 and 2. Axum, no holds bar for the 10J. Trying to reel back in.
Oh, we got a yellow. And that's Jeffrey Pahuli with the steering wheel off on the top side of turn 2, and we're gonna have a 5-lap shootout. Caleb Hart, the goosebumps are creeping.
Hey guys, watch Kyle Larson run 1 and 2. He is not into the cushion. He's on the wall and almost using it as a ramp to shoot him into turn number 2.
Heartbreak for that young man.
Yeah.
He was the best car on the racetrack, bar none.
Absolutely.
For about 15 laps.
Yeah.
Guys, as Steven Snyder Jr. comes to a rest here in the infield, obviously you can see the flat right rear tire on the Hyper Racing house car. He was making a show of it, going for his first driller in his career. But how about this show up front? You got a 3-car war happening out here. Hold on, folks. Things are about to get good.
And Blake Anderson was right. Also in 3 and 4, Larson literally goes in straight up the ramp and goes down the hill like a freaking X Games skateboarder.
5 laps left. That means we got a mile of racing to go. Here we are. 5 to decide it. Green out. Great start. Down to the bottom goes Bell.
Axum's going to follow him through, kind of short slides himself up to the cushion. It's about a 3-car length gap between your top 2, but Larson's going to throw his name in the ring. Nearly got into Axum. Axum jumps the cushion. Larson to P2.
Oh, if we're going to get a Bell versus Larson finish here, we're in for a treat, kids. Down the back straightaway they go. Blake Hahn trying to rebound. Hahn down to the bottom of the racetrack, tiptoeing his way back up into 3rd as Larson tries to track down Bell in front of the field.
There it is. We just saw it. We're going to have a Larson versus Bell. Larson's going to have to go to work. Here it is, guys. What an absolute showman. He's got a ramp working. He's going to do it again down here in 1 and 2.
2 laps to go. Larson looked like Ross Chastain at Martinsville, riding the wall into turns 3 and 4. Larson up and over the cushion, down the hill. 1 to go. Larson closes in.
For all the marbles, Kyle Larson, cushion, who cares? Launches off of turn number 2. Final set of corners, final time. The Tulsa Shootout goes to Christopher Bell.
In an absolute photo finish, Christopher Bell wins by just 1/10 of a second over Kyle Larson. My, oh my, fans, that is what you've come to see.
The best Tulsa Shootout ever.
Look at the fans on their feet.
Ever.
Yep.
From the first race through the 389th, this delivered.
How lucky are we?
Yep.
Non-Wing Outlaw 55 laps till I die.
Unbelievable.
Emerson Axum was 3rd. Ricky Thornton Jr. was 4th. KJ Snow was all the way to 5th. Blake Hahn, Jake Nail, Clinton Boyles, Aiden Perdue, Sam Johnson round out the top 10. Sawyer takes the win in the Non-Wing Outlaw.
He hasn't done this since 2018 at the Tulsa Shootout. Well-deserved for Christopher Bell in his return to the SageNet Center for the Tulsa Shootout. And possibly shades of things to come in a week's time.
I can't wait already.
Oh.
Is it next year yet?
Man, that was awesome.
And tip of the cap to Kyle Larson, running an impossible line only he could figure out.
He gets to the win, he gets to the lead and opens up a straightaway in about a lap and then clobbers the wall.
Yeah.
He was gone. He was checked out. Christopher Bell getting out of the car. And
You saw Kyle go over there and fist bump him.
Yeah.
You know those two enjoyed that one.
That was cool.
I know our crew got a replay of Snyder over there in 1 and 2. Hopefully we get to see that at some point.
I will show that at some point when
Man.
we get a chance.
His wife, Morgan, he's going to go over and give Kyle a
He's
hug.
not done with it.
Yeah.
That was
He
so
said,
cool.
buddy, remember this? It's been a couple years.
Yeah, welcome back, fellas.
We missed you.
And
We missed you a lot.
We're damn glad to have you.
How cool is that?
Man.
Brian Kavanaugh.
Blake, remember talking to Blaney? He said, I don't know if we're going to get out of here till 2 in the morning. I don't think
Yeah.
he cares anymore. That was awesome. Sawyer chassis.
Still doesn't have the helmet and head and neck restraint off. I mean, it's coming at some point in time, but Christopher Bell, unreal. We are spoiled with unreal talent in open wheel dirt racing right now.
Absolutely.
Just the fact that, I mean, amongst your top 5, Bell, Larson, Axum, dirt late model guy and Ricky Thornton, micro guy only in KJ Snow.
And KJ Snow's run to 5th only happened in the final about 15 laps, too. He was still buried outside the top 10.
I can actually tell you on this, thank you to my race pass. Yeah, he picked up a bunch of spots. Lap 37 was back in 11th.
Yeah.
To the house we go for Christopher Bell.
Welcome home in fine fashion. I tell you, the first thing that comes to my mind is nothing like laying in the weeds, hitting your marks, and knowing when it's time to pounce.
I've got 4 words. Thank you, Joe Gibbs.
Yes.
I think I'll second that, buddy. There's so many people that's been chomping at the bit, wanting so badly for you to be back on dirt, and you just made a big old splash right in your backyard.
Oh my gosh, man. I live for moments like that, man. Driving these race cars, especially here at Tulsa, there's nothing else like it. And maybe after today, Kyle will actually like micros and want to come back.
I think these fans are wholeheartedly agree with that as well. Take us through, man. You just laid there, and when it was time to go, you went.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't running the most pretty line, but all weekend long, I was just really struggling to get in the corner the way that I needed to. And fortunately, I was able to find something that was really comfortable for me. I feel bad for Steven. He was driving really, really well and had a super fast car there. So, guys, I don't know. That was a hell of a race, though.
There ain't no doubt about that. You saw the white flag fly. I know you knew that Kyle had showed himself. What were your thoughts when you saw the white flag go and what you needed to do?
Well, so I lost the Chili Bowl by running the top on entry. So I felt like if I just kept running the slider line and there was a lot of good dirt getting off on corners 2 and 4. So I felt like if I could keep sliding across and get off really hard, it was going to be hard for him to get me. And he made a hell of a corner down there on the bottom, that last corner, to make it scary coming to the checkered.
There's no doubt, and you've pulled off some wonderful trips to victory lane in your young career, whether it be Sundays or whether it be on dirt. This is a memorable one and a homecoming at that.
Yeah, I love this place. I love this place with all my heart, and I can't wait to see everybody here in a couple weeks.
Besides Joe Gibbs, a lot of people to thank.
Oh my gosh, there's too many to list, but Mike Ross, I called him. Actually, last year we were sitting right here, and I was talking about a Panhard car, and he got that together for me. So we put it together. Brian Kimmenaugh, my father-in-law's been along with me the whole way. Scott Sawyer, he's given us a lot of help through this weekend, helping to get me a little bit more comfortable in the car. My best buddy Hayden and Chris Ball, they're here working on it. We got 5-0 Reed Ryder. This is a special one to do it with my own car, with my family, and this is a very, very special one.
The 40th annual Tulsa Shootout, and you come home and pull this off. This is going to be one for the ages and remembered forever, buddy. Hell of a run.
That was a badass race.
Congratulations to Christopher Bell. One more time, race fans. Show him your appreciation. Out of Norman, Oklahoma, Christopher Bell, your Outlaw Non-Wing champion.
Man, Emerson Axum, a mentally taxing weekend to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, it's just our stuff's really good and we didn't come out with one. You know, it's honestly just like kind of hurts your stomach a little bit. Like, obviously you don't come in here expecting to win ever. Like, this place owes you nothing. But I just felt like we were in a couple positions and like just didn't come out on top. And I didn't need that yellow there to get Larson back to my bumper. I don't know, it was just hard racing. He tried to slide me. I figured I could make it around, but the curb was so big, my Nerf bar caught it and tried to like flip me over sideways. I don't know. I mean, what do you do? Like, I was running down Chris for a while. I finally got comfortable. We all got lucky. Steven Snyder broke. He was the class of the field, I think. But yeah, just keep coming back till we get an A-Wing win and a Non-Wing Outlaw win, and after that we'll probably be done, man. It's stressful. So I'm mentally exhausted. My guys are. My dad, he spent a lot of money being away from work. You know, lost a lot of money, I guess, being away from work, and my brother-in-law and just everyone that helped out on this car. Jared, Shaggy, Lineman Motors, Ghoul Motors, just everyone that helps out.
Congrats on one heck of a run.
Yeah, thank you.
Emerson Axum comes home in third, another podium for him, and another race, man. He put it all out there, guys.
Blake, Emerson Axum is going to get better from this.
Yeah.
You think about it. Those two guys weren't in the field last year. He wins tonight.
Let's go down to Earl Hoon Jr. with Kyle Larson, who gated everything he could.
Yep, tonight's runner-up, Kyle Larson. First of all, you weren't having that much fun out there, were you?
I was having a blast. So thankfully didn't, crash, but that was a lot of fun. I was just kind of, Snyder smoked by us all and got to lead so fast. I was like, I wasn't feeling like I was doing much different than him once I got to the top, but I was like, man, he's going so fast. He's got to be doing something different. So I started trying to, ride the wall, and it started working out for me. I was catching those two before the caution came out, and just got racing, got to second, and thought I might have a shot at Bell, but he was doing a good job of closing off the slider, and I just ran out of laps, really. I think, when Emerson started bouncing on the cushion, if I could have just got by him rather than having to slow down to not hit him, I think I would have caught him like a lap earlier, and maybe he would have at least heard me or adjusted his line and made a mistake or left enough room for me to slide him. But he did a great job. So that was fun, though. I hope the fans really enjoyed it. I know I did. I hate running second to Bell, but at least with a finish like that, I'll take it. That was a blast. And I think, I'm happy that he's allowed to run dirt cars again because the sport needs it.
No doubt about that. I agree with that. When this cushion is starting to get caked up on the wall like it did, all that experience that you have out at Tulare, were you really able to put that here tonight?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that helps. But I mean, being in a non-wing car, like typically you can't do that because you're hitting it, you're sliding to it. But I just decided to commit to enter with my right front on it, and my car would take it. Dason said he was kind of doing that a little bit in the Outlaw wing race at the end. So I knew that if I entered straight enough, I could make it work. But it was really working for me. So I just wish I would have, gotten there a little bit sooner. I caught the wall, I think, pretty hard in 1 and 2 and bent my front axle back a little bit. So that was making me even tighter getting into the corners. So that didn't help. But all in all, a great night here, great week with CBI and Chad. And you wish we could have got a third driller there, but we'll take a second.
The big story all weekend long was the track surface, right? It has been great from start to finish. Now, the shootout's over. Let's paint the picture for the fans at home about the upcoming Turley Bowl. Would you agree that I got a feeling that the fans are going to be in for one hell of a show?
Yeah, I mean, I think 55 laps of the micros, non-wing is probably easier because the tires are harder. They don't latch rubber quite as easy, so I mean, the midget race, they cut the laps a little shorter, so that might help some. But it just gets tricky when it gets to a complete curb against the wall. You just have to start sliding yourself, and then it just gets clean and takes rubber. So I don't know. I think the track was amazing for this, but just don't really know how it'll be yet for the midgets. But I think regardless, it's going to be great for the prelim nights and all that. Just and too, I think cutting it from 55, I think to 40 will probably definitely help. So yeah, it'll be good.
That's young money, Kyle Larson, guys. Finishing second, taking home a couple drillers as well.